Everybody, Lloyd here with Just Got Played, and today we have another game unboxing. This is for the new Target exclusive Horizons of Spirit Island. Okay, this is a game by Erock. It's from Greater Than Games, and as I said, this is a Target exclusive. So this is essentially a $30 version of Spirit Island. It does have new characters in it, so that you can use within the main game, and I believe you can use those expansions and stuff with this one. The big difference is that this is only 1 to 3 players. It's 90 to 120 minutes, ages 14 and up. And as you can see, the things that are in here, instead of being little minis and stuff, are tokens. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that and how everything is different, and kind of how they cut corners to make a $30 version of Spirit Island that is on store shelves in mass market stores like Target. Like I said, I think this does have a 1-year exclusive at Target. So hopefully you can get it wherever you're located. Let's go ahead and get it open and see what we've got inside. All right. So first off, we have a quick start guide. This is very glossy. So let's just take a look at the quick start. So it goes over setup, how to set everything up, your 3-player board, goes over spirit selection, how to set up the invader cards, the first round in detail, which is very nice. So it'll go through and give you a complete walkthrough of a first round, which is pretty cool. So it goes through pretty much everything, the spirit phase, going through the growth, how each character grows. So it gives kind of an overview of each character, which is nice. Gaining energy, playing cards. Then it goes through the fast power phase. Then it goes through the invader phase and how the invader phase works, which is very nice that it does a nice thorough walkthrough for newbies. And then it goes through the slow power phase, and then time passes, and then it goes through second round and beyond. So that is very nice because Spirit Island, although not super complex in terms of mechanisms and what's happening, it is a very complex in terms of timing and how things play out. Not necessarily, like I said, the mechanisms, but using the actual powers and whatnot. So this giving a thorough walkthrough of how the game works and walking through an entire round through all of the characters is very nice. I think that's a very welcome addition, and I believe that was kind of one of the things that they decided they wanted to do in order to get this onto Target shelves. Because from what I read in the article, basically Target approached Greater Than Games and said, hey, we want to get Spirit Island. We know it's a big seller. We want to get it on store shelves, but it's a little too expensive, and it's a little too, I guess, the weight on it's a little too heavy for what we're looking for. And I guess the Greater Than Game guys said, hey, you know what? We can get you a cheaper version, but we're not going to skimp on gameplay. And I think this might have been the happy medium they came to, was to put in a quick start guide with a complete walkthrough of a single round for all the characters, which I think is very good. Because when I played the first game, we did kind of struggle with it. So I think that's probably a good compromise they did that. And then here we have the full rule book. So this goes through, all of the actual stuff. So you got the game board, spirit panels, terror level. Goes through all of these dividers and the cards and stuff. It goes through a 2-player board and a 3-player board. So this does not have the individual island pieces, it looks like. But we'll go ahead and get into that. It looks like it's a 2-sided board, and you will use one side or the other depending on how many players you have. So it goes through, all the different stuff for a setup, and then it goes through a sequence of play. And this is more of an overview, which, like I said, this quick start guide had an in-depth overview, an in-depth round stage. So this is really good. It goes over how this works. This is more abstracted out, right? It's got all the rules. The other one is a complete walkthrough of a turn. So it's nice. It goes through sequence of play. So you have build examples, explore, ravage. So how things move and how they how the explorers go from place to place and how they build, which is very helpful, very nice. Here we have game concepts, so it goes over victory, defeat, fear and terror, sacred sites and presence, all the stuff that you know and love from Spirit Island. So now we're just going over anatomy of a spirit panel, how the invaders work, the Dahan, how powers work. Yeah, so it's going, over general concepts. I don't think there's anything new. They didn't change any of the gameplay for this. So if you've played Spirit Island, you should be able to jump right into this. And I think you should be able to take the characters from here and put them into the main Spirit Island game. So here we go. We have tips and tricks section, which this is very nice because I think this is one of the things that we lacked in our first playthroughs. We didn't know exactly what to do, and we got trounced pretty quickly because we didn't, kind of know like basic strategy and what to do. So we've got all this stuff for streamlining gameplay, which is nice. So it's got simple things like as you play power cards, put the required energy on top of them. This will help you remember to pay for them. Stuff like that. So if the game's too hard, you can make it a little easier. If the game's too easier, you can make it a little more difficult. And then here's like, whoops, if you messed up, always nice. And then over here, like I said, we have basic strategy. So this will help newbies figure out where they need to play their people or play their presence tokens and whatnot, and where they should be firing off their powers and how to kind of deal with the Dahan and the invaders and buildings, which I think again is very nice because I don't think this is in the main game book. So this is very nice that they included this. Again, I think it's kind of a compromise to make the game a little bit more player friendly for the mass market target crowd. So here we go over the lore. So we have the island, the spirits, the Dahan, the evil invaders, and we have a nice glossary here. We have artists and playtester credits, very nice. And then on the back here we have a nice iconography, how targets work, turn order, and then how range works, which are the most important things in the game. So very nice. So I think this is probably what everyone wants to really see here are the new spirits in the game. So here we have Devouring, Teeth, Lurk, Underfoot. So let's do it the other way. Let's take a look at this side of them first. So we'll start with this one since I already did it. Devouring, Teeth, Lurk, Underfoot. So it gives you kind of the breakdown of the starting summary and then the playstyle. So likes being in the same lands as invaders, so it can use range 0 offensive and defensive powers. The first of its innate power can give some mobility if needed. Has a poor plays track and potent but expensive unique powers, so can be better at handling fewer large threats than lots of little ones. So there you go. Let's take a look at his main board. So as you can see, this is going to be different for all the different spirits in the game, and so is this, and so is this. So everything is very unique. It's very asymmetric. So let's just take a look at his special rule, Territorial Aggression. Your damage dealing powers do +1 damage. So that's very nice. You can definitely clear out some bigger threats with this guy. Innate powers, death approaches from beneath the surface. So it is a slow speed, range of 1, and it targets invaders. And so here you have all the powers for it. So that was Devouring, Teeth, Lurk, Underfoot. Next up we have Sunbright Whirlwind. Start with 4 unique power cards. That's nice. Playstyle, incredibly good at handling invaders, clearing newly explored lands of invaders so they don't build there. Not nearly good at dealing with towns and cities. Can focus on energy and largely forego its innate power. Focus on plays to aim for mid to high innate thresholds or strike a more balanced path. Adds at most 1 presence per turn, so there won't be time to do it all. So yeah, this is a more control player. So let's take a look at Sunbright Whirlwind. backside. Special rule, a stiff wind at their backs. After you add presence during growth, push up to one invader or Dahan from that land. So this is going to be more about moving the invaders and Dahan around. As you can see, again, if you notice, for our newbie players, these tracks are all different. If you look at the bottom, they all have different powers, using different power symbols to activate them. So yeah, violent windstorms. So you can push up to one invader, then one fear. You can push up to two invaders, or a town. For each invader pushed by this power, 1 damage in land it was pushed to. So very nice. And then just 4 damage in a target land. So next up we have Rising Heat of Stone and Sand. Also starts with 4 unique cards. This is a very offensive player. Playstyle, weaken and destroy. Likes having sacred sites where there's cities and towns, as it makes all spirits damage more effective there. Has an easier time setting up sacred sites in sands and mountains, but can do so in any terrain with a bit more time. So yeah, let's take a look at Rising Heat and Stone. Rising Heat of Stone and Sand. Special rule, Blistering Heat. At your sacred site, invaders have -1 health, minimum of 1. So that is very nice. And as you can see, he's able to put presence out a lot faster in sands and mountains. And then down here you have Scorch with Waves of Heat. Again, this is slow. It's range 1 of your sacred site, and you can target any land. 2 damage to invaders. 2 damage to anything. 2 damage. 1 damage to each invader. So what you're trying to do is get enough of these symbols stored up so you can fire off multiple of these, right? Very cool. So next we have Fathomless Mud of the Swamp. Playstyle, likes having sacred sites where invaders will build, but may need to recreate those sacred sites after oozing outwards with its innate power. And smaller games might be able to cut off the most inland lands from explore actions by destroying inland villages, towns, and cities, and stopping new ones from being built. Causes a fair bit of fear, much of which represents unpleasantness, hardship, and disgust. So this is kind of a balanced player, but if you notice, not as offensive, but kind of across the board, does a little bit of everything fairly well. So let's take a look at Fathomless Mud of the Swamp. Special rule, offer no firm foundations. So at your sacred site, build actions, add 1 invader instead of towns or cities. So that is very nice. Controls those cities from popping up. And again, we have the innate power, spreading in dreadful mire. Move 1 presence from the origin sacred site to the target land. This is required. 1 fear, 1 damage, push 1 Dahan. 1 damage, 1 fear, push 1 Dahan. So if you can fire that off, you can get that twice. And then this just does 2 damage, right? So very nice. And last up we have Eyes Watch from the Trees. So playstyle, good at defending against ravages and at steadily earning fear. Its ability to gather Dahan to fight back when defending can make a huge difference, changing a stalling tactic into a blow against the invader. So as you can see, not very offensive, but lots of fear, lots of defense, and a good amount of control. So let's take a look. Eyes Watch from the Trees. Special rule, Dahan, trust the Watchers. After one of your powers adds defend to a single land, gather up to 1 Dahan into that land. Very nice. Lets you move the Dahan around quite easily. And then here, Mischief and Sabotage. Speed is fast. 1 range of your sacred site, and it target land invaders. So 1 fear and defend 2. Instead, 1 fear and defend 4. Very nice. So they won't be able to damage the land as easily. Instead, 3 fear and defend 6, which makes it very difficult for them to do anything. And then instead, 5 fear and defend 12, which is very, very nice. All right. So now we've got kind of the new stuff, what they've skimped and cut the corners on to make this a mass market $30 game is we no longer have actual little guys or Dahan. We have these little tokens, and you know, they're good quality tokens, and I think it's a very good trade-off. We also have these little towns, right, or cities and towns. So you have these instead of the little like I said, the little plastic minis. But I think it's a good trade-off. It gets you a and then that's to, you know, show, because normally you flip the Dahan over to show damage and whatnot. Same with these guys. And here you flip these over to show that it's taken damage, which again is a very nice cost-cutting feature. And I think it's fine, right? Like for people who maybe want to try this and don't want to spend $70 on the main game, this gives you a good feeling. And you got these like little ooze tokens, and you know, the fear tokens are, I think, probably the same quality as what's normally there. So yeah, we've got quite a bit of those, right? We've got 3 sheets of tokens. And now let's take a look at the player board, or sorry, the game board, which the main game comes with these little island pieces. So it would come with an island chunk like this, right? And then you assemble them into however many people are playing, you assemble them into an island. This way the island's always going to be fixed. So this is going to be your 2-player game, right? And then if we flip it over, we're going to get our 3-player island. So again, I think this was another good cost-cutting measure to get this on store shelves for people to, you know, get introduced to the game. It also helps with setup because you just, you know, 2-player, 3-player, you just plunk it down and there you go. So it's a good quality board, very nice. We've got little baggies, which is nice for all of the tokens. We've got these, which I believe are the same. These are little wood pieces for the for your presents, and I think these are probably the same quality as what's in the main game. I can't imagine they really chimped on these, you know, skimped on these, considering they're just, you know, stock wood discs that are probably, you know, 2 cents for the entire bag. They give us lots of bags for all the tokens. Here we have, you know, these are the different invader cards, right? So level 1s, 2s, and 3s. And these are probably going to match probably exactly what's in the main game. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure these match exactly what's in the main game. So I imagine once you play the main game or whatever, you really won't even need these anymore. So what I don't know is if these cards, the powers and whatnot, well, that's weird. Huh. I mean, that looks purposeful, but maybe not. Maybe it's just, you know, random dumb luck. So these are the fear cards, right? So I don't know. These might be new. I'm not 100% sure. These might be the same cards from the main game. I am not 100% sure on these. I am not familiar enough with the main game to know, you know, on site if these are all the same cards. I kind of imagine that these are probably going to be a lot of the same ones, and they may have made, you know, a few new ones, but I'm not 100% sure. And then here we have the minor powers, which again, I don't know if these are the same. They could be. Well, that's from the main game, so I'm assuming that these are the same cards from the main game. We also have more in here, but we'll come back to those. Let's take a look at the major powers. Accelerated Rot, Blazing Renewal. These sound like ones that are in the main game. Indomitable Claim. My guess would be is that they probably added a few new ones that have the art from the new characters, but I don't see any of that in here. But they could be new. Like I said, I am not familiar enough with the main game to know all of the cards, but I'm sure if you own the main game or you're very familiar with it, you can probably see from these cards that I've just flipped through whether or not they are the same or new. And I'm going to get defeated by a deck of cards again, which these little card packs are the bane of my existence. They defeat me all the time. All right, so let's flip these over real quick. All right, so here's the rest of the minor powers. Gift of Power. I think these are all the same. These from the couple time Quicken the Earth struggles, like that dude's from the main game, right? Rouse the Trees and Stones. I'm pretty sure that these are all. There might be a couple new ones in here, but I'm not 100% sure, if I'm being honest. Like, I know that's in the main game, Visions of Fiery Doom. I remember that one. So yeah, there's the minor power. If you do know these are different, please let me know in the comments, because I have no idea. So then these are the unique cards for all of the new characters. I'm not gonna go back through all the names, but this is for the Solar Cat. This is for the Fireworm, right? This is for the Mud Cat. So these are the unique cards. This is for the Watching Trees, right? And last one here, we have the Sandworm. Ferocious Rampage, Gift of Furious Might, Hero Towards the Lurking Maw, Marked Territorial Scars of Teeth. So these are definitely all new, obviously. I don't know about the other cards. And then here we just have, oh, why are these? Oh, so these are cards if you want to do the easy setup, right? These give you the progression, so you put together these cards, and when you draw, each time you level up, you'll look for this card and draw it. I didn't really like that in the main game. I felt like it kind of hampered what I was doing, and it didn't let me react to the board, and these are just the terror level cards, right? So it's interesting to see if these are better. I think these are good to help you get an idea, but I also think they are overly frustrating because they tend to not be able to react to what's on the board, what's happening in front of you, and you can't easily. Oh, that's nice. It has this little notch so you can get these out of there easy. I didn't even notice that before. I'm just gonna throw all this stuff back in for now. It doesn't react to the board, so if you're looking for a specific thing, being able to grab 3 cards and grab the one you want for what's specifically happening is, I think the better way. But yeah, that was Horizons of Spirit Island. Again, this is a Target exclusive. It just came out on October 2nd, 2022. So if you're interested in Horizon, or if you're interested in Spirit Island and you've never really wanted to drop $70 on it or seemed intimidating, this one might be a good starter pack for you. It's $30 at Target. You can order it off Target.com, although I don't know how. I know they were out of stock for a while. I had to go to 2 different stores to find it. My local store was completely out. They didn't even get any in. So yeah, this might be a good entry. And then if you really like the game, maybe you'll splurge on the Big Brother and all of the expansions that they put out. So as always, like, share, and subscribe. Check our description check the description down below for all of our links to our social media like Discord, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Come chat with us on Discord, and let me know your thoughts on Horizons of Spirit Island if you've played it, and if you saw anything that really stood out as different from the main game other than the characters and the component quality. Let me know, like, were any of those minor power cards new, or the major power cards? So yeah, thanks for watching. Happy gaming.